My team is working on the bridging our experience between the reality and the virtuality. So we want to expand our senses of physical interactions in extended reality with the support of sensory intelligence and robotic actuators. So as we know, the AI can create rich visual media for XR. So if we provide a single input scene, then we can create the moods, different moods of emotions, from love, joy, and to fear. However, our experience is not limited to our sight. We experience a full range of sensations. So when we are watching XR media, our visual sense and auditory sense is diving into the virtuality. However, the other sensations are still remain in the reality, so it can make some conflict, such as a sensory mismatch and motion sickness and distractions and interruptions. So we had a question how we can incorporate our bodily sensations in XR. So actually, we can create and generate immersive visual media for XR applications. However, we cannot generate the forces from this kind of visual VR contents. So we incorporated and augmented muscle sensations in virtual avatars. So by applying the electrical muscle stimulations, we could generate some forces. So for example, impulse forces when we are kicking a virtual ball. And then we can also create some continuous forces when we are walking through the swamp area. There is another gap. So when we are in the virtual reality, then we can see open spaces. Actually, we can create any spaces. However, the reality holds us back. It means if there is some physical object in front of me, such as chairs or desks or any physical object, then it interrupts my experience interacting with the virtual space. So we modulated our sense of balance in reality to align with the virtuality. So we developed some stimulus that can be applied to our vestibular system, and then we can make we can change the directions of our walking in reality, so we can avoid the collisions with our physical object. So as the next, we wondered how we can handle the sickness between what we see in the virtuality and what we feel in reality in more challenging environment. So actually, we can wear the VR headsets in the cars. In these situations, our experience and all the physical interaction take place on the motion of a vehicle. So interestingly, when we have some control initiative for the virtual cars, so if we can follow the red route in the virtual world, then it didn't increase our motion sickness, even though there is a big difference between the real route of our real car and the virtual route of my virtual car. So as the next, we wondered what if we synchronize all these senses between the virtuality and the reality in an autonomous vehicle scenarios. So we implemented some robotic systems with multimodal sensors. So it is almost automated vehicle systems with the same sensors. So we make it predict what's going to happen on the road a second in advance. Then we can create and generate some adaptive XR media for in this kind of in-car VR system. Then in the event of the inconsistent acceleration and deceleration, or other event like turning or bumping, then we can create some virtual wall and virtual volcano or virtual water turbulence. Then we can also instruct our passengers to brake or avoiding or prep for that kind of visual virtual event. Then we found that this kind of instructions and adaptive XR media can significantly reduce our motion sickness. It is much more effective than the directed stimulation of our muscles. So I'm going to wrap up with my joint project with Daniel Lalas. So we are currently developing the multisensory avatars for motor skill coaching. So we are collecting the human demonstration data from the reality. So it is good to build some expert models and then train the virtual avatars for the virtuality to generate some synthetic actions and sensations. So this is the end of my presentation.
Excellent.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.